This is the story of how one hidden truth shook a royal household, destroyed prejudice, and reshaped a kingdom. And yes, it's all true. His name was John Rivera, or at least that's what everyone believed. He was the quiet, mixed-race gardener who worked at the grand estate of the Royal House of Eldoria, tucked away between ancient oaks and the whispering fountains of its renowned gardens. To the outside world, Eldoria was a modern monarchy, a dazzling blend of tradition and power, home to philanthropists, diplomats, and dignitaries. But inside its walls, symbols still mattered, bloodline still mattered, titles still mattered. And John was just a gardener. If you asked Lady Beatrice Harrington, the palace's rigid and arrogant head housekeeper, John was little more than a mistake of empathy, someone given a job out of charity when there were more qualified people from proper backgrounds. John's mother was Filipino. His father was rumored to be African Caribbean. In Eldoria, where the royal family was famously immaculately pale-skinned and pure of lineage, John's mere presence sparked whispers. But what Lady Beatrice missed was the calm intelligence in his eyes, the ease with which he handled not just the soil, but the subtlety of royal politics, the way he always seemed to know, long before anyone else, what needed to be done. And no one noticed, because he was just a gardener. Eldoria was weeks away from the most important event of the century, the King's 60th Jubilee. It wasn't just a birthday, it was a global celebration of legacy, stability, and the continuation of the centuries-old Eldorian line. Every detail mattered, from the gowns to the gold-plated china, and especially the gardens. The gardens were the heart of Eldoria. Designed over 300 years earlier, they were a living symbol of purity, tradition, and royal power. On the day of the Jubilee, the king himself was to walk the garden path with world leaders watching from every corner of the globe. And then, disaster struck. A parasitic fungus, one that hadn't been seen in Eldoria in centuries, had begun to spread. Fast. The roses wilted overnight, vines turned black, grass turned brittle and gray. Lady Beatrice, panicking, summoned every expert she could find: botanists, horticulturists, aristocratic garden architects with letters after their names. But nothing worked. The king was furious. The palace was in chaos. The countdown to the Jubilee was shrinking, and the heart of Eldoria was dying. And there, in the middle of it all, stood John, quiet, watching, waiting. He offered small suggestions here and there, natural treatments, techniques from warmer climates, but Lady Beatrice waved him off. We need professionals, not plant boys with tropical ideas. So John returned to trimming, quietly burying the knowledge that could save the kingdom. It was Sir Reginald Pierce, the king's oldest advisor, who finally spoke. Your Majesty, may I suggest something unconventional? The king nodded, desperate. And so John was summoned. He entered the royal garden not as a gardener, but as a man with nothing to lose and nothing left to hide. He examined the soil, the fungus, the air, the roots. Then he spoke with quiet authority. This garden wasn't built for modern conditions. The soil is ancient, depleted, and suffocating. We don't need chemicals. We need oxygen. We need balance. We need to restore life, not mask death. The experts bristled. Lady Beatrice scoffed. But the king listened. With the king's permission, John led a small team. By nightfall, he'd applied a restorative treatment blended from remedies and techniques never before used in Eldoria, ancestral methods from regions his mother and father once called home. And by morning, life returned. The roses stood tall, the vines stretched green, the grass glowed golden in the sunrise. Silence fell over the estate, a silence not of failure, but of awe. The king turned to John and asked, "Who taught you this?" John looked up, with depth in his eyes, and said, "My mother, Your Majesty, and my father." A pause, a heartbeat, a revelation. My father was Prince Malik of Eldoria. Gasps, silence, a tremor through the royal bloodline. John Rivera was not just a gardener. He was Prince Alaric Malik, the king's long-lost brother, born in exile after a scandal had banished his father decades ago. A scandal involving interracial love, and a royal family not ready for the future. Prince Malik had fled, lived, loved, and died in another land, raising Alaric without bitterness, but with knowledge, with roots, with truth. And now, his son had returned, not to claim a crown, but to heal one. Lady Beatrice's world collapsed that day. All her judgments, her sneers, her superiority, all directed at a prince. The king embraced his brother. Tears fell. Old wounds healed. The palace staff watched in stunned silence as John, Prince Alaric, became the royal that the family needed. Not for tradition, but for transformation. The king announced, "This kingdom was built on history, but today, we build on truth." Lines shifted, class crumbled, and the lesson was clear. You never know who you're dismissing when you look down. Prince Alaric made one change first. Every royal servant was to walk the gardens freely, eat on the lawns, learn from the soil. He led by example, fingers still in the dirt, eyes still in the wisdom of his lineage, and heart always rooted in the love of two worlds. Lady Beatrice? She resigned, returned a year later, humbled, asking to plant a tree in the royal garden. Alaric said yes, because grace was also part of growth. The story of Eldoria's rebirth spread beyond the palace walls. Monarchies took notice, schools shared the tale, and a new definition of nobility echoed through history. Royalty isn't about blood, it's about what you choose to nurture. This story reminds us, some crowns are hidden under soil, some kings wear gloves, not gold, and sometimes what you overlook could change the world. If this story moved you, subscribe to Interracial Unfiltered, where we uncover the buried truths behind love, legacy, and identity. And remember, never ever judge a soul by its soil.